Welcome to video lesson 8.2b. We're going to find the surface area of cylinders today after having found the volume last time. So we already know that we have a net pictured here of a circle, of a cylinder, and that the area of two circles and the area of one curved surface in our net are what form the surface area of a cylinder. So because we know that the surface area of a cylinder can be found by finding the area of those two circles. To find the area of one circle, we take pi times the radius squared. So to find the area of two circles, we simply multiply that by 2. To find the area of the curved surface, we need to know the length of our curved surface, which happens to be the same as the circumference of our circle. So to find the circumference, we know we do 2 times pi times the radius. And then we also know that to find the area of this curved surface, we need to know the width of the figure so that we can find the complete area. So we multiply that as h, the height of our cylinder. Combining these two things will give us the total surface area of a cylinder. So let's look at applying this to our figures. So in this first example, we want to find the surface area to the nearest tenth. We're given that the height of the cylinder is 15 centimeters and the radius of the cylinder is 4 centimeters. Now, I have listed step 1 as something that I'm going to show in green, so I'm going to change my pen to green and would encourage you to do the same thing. And the first thing that I need to do is I need to use my formula. So behind the number 1, you would write use the formula, and then we would go ahead and actually use that formula. So we're going to write that the surface area is equal to 2 times pi times the radius squared plus 2 times pi times the radius times the height. The first part giving us the area of the circles, the second part giving us the area of the curved surfaces. Then I'm going to move along to step number 2, changing my pen to black, and behind the number 2 in black, writing substitute, because I'm going to use the substitution property to continue on to the next step. So make sure you record step 2 in your notes as substitute. And then I'm going to say my surface area is equal to 2. My value of pi will be 3.14. I know that the radius is 4, and I need to square it, so that's 4 times 4. Plus, now I'm going to work on the area of the curved surface, 2 times my value of pi. Excuse me. Clean that up just a little bit there. So 2 times my value of pi, and then times my radius of 4, and times my height of 15. So I've finished substituting. Now that I have all the values substituted, the next step that I'm going to need to take is written in blue. So I'm going to write number 3 in blue and encourage you to do the same. And that step is to go ahead and multiply using order of operations here to solve my problem. So I'm going to multiply this. You can pause the video, and when you've finished multiplying, you can check back to see if your value matches mine. Okay, we're back together, and when I multiply, I have 148 hundredths as my value. Then I'm going to go ahead and multiply that second half. So you go ahead and pause the video again and multiply. Welcome back, and here we go. Hopefully we all found 376 and 8/10. So we finished our step with multiplying, which brings us to step 4. You'll see we've listed that in red. So we'll grab step 4, and step 4 is going to tell, we're going to be adding. So behind 4, I'm going to write the word add. And then I'm going to go ahead and come down and I'm going to say, well, what's 100 more than 376? And when I add that, I get 477 and 28 hundredths. And then I want to remember that I'm asked to round. That's my step 5 is going to be round. So in purple, behind number 5, I'm going to write round. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that step in purple down below. So the surface area is approximately 477 3/10 square centimeters. So I used, to sum up what we did, we used the formula, we substitute, we combine things, and we round at the end to find our final answer for this question. Now, sometimes we might have to look at the question from a slightly different direction. It might be that they ask us that they want us to find the radius, and they will have given us the surface area and the height already of the cylinder. So we can see in this example, the radius is r, and the height of the cylinder is 2.5, and we want to do some work. Well, right away we know that first step is going to be to use the formula and substitute. So behind number 1, I would write use the formula and substitute, and then down below I would actually go ahead and do that, because I know that my area of my curved surface is going to be equal to 2 pi times the radius times the height. So I can use that to find my answer. So I'm going to start substituting in here, and I will have 2 times pi. And why am I using pi instead of 3.14? Well, let's consider that. It doesn't ask me to round in this question. That means I'm getting an exact answer, and to get an exact answer, I need to use pi. So I'm using my formula. For the curved part, and I'm using the value of pi to get an exact answer. Okay, well, my curved surface is, the area of that is 12 pi. Then I have my other part of the formula, 2 times pi times the radius in this case, which is r, times the height in this case, which is 2.5. Then I want to clean that up. Well, obviously I'm going to switch now to blue, because that's the color for step 3. I'm going to need to do some multiplying over here to get some of those things straightened out. So 2 times 2.5 is 5, and that gives me 5 pi r equal to 12 pi. Now, for my next step, I'm going to need to do some division. So here I am, ready to divide by the coefficient. So my next step is to divide. That's for step 3. So I'm dividing by 5 pi, because that is my coefficient. Okay, and once I've got 5 pi, I can see that these things divide to be 1. That leaves me an r. And then r is equal to, and when I divide that, go ahead and pause and divide. I get 2.4 pi, and my label is meters. And remember, this time I was getting an exact answer, and I got that exact answer by using pi. So when you come to class tomorrow, we'll be ready to apply these skills.